Amazing. Shannon, what about you?
What kept coming to my mind was be the peace. Be the peace. That's how we promote the peace. And it isn't so much promotion as attraction. So, and when we are the peace, it's attractive and people will be attracted to that peace. So, thank you for all being the peace. Thanks.
Amazing. That's so beautiful. And what about Inger? What do you think?
Right now, I was thinking that a global peace culture comes with like a new habit. So it, for example, like taking a shower now and then, like every morning or like after as a ritual. So it could be that we have to kind of have an inner practice that is like a peace ritual, like taking a shower. And I also felt like stretching behind myself to this kind of seed and a small thing. So, you know, the peace culture has to be learned as a child stage, you know. So it has to be brought forward as a culture of not only like happy, but you have to understand the sadness in your own life and how to be that diversity of emotions. So, and it starts in every house and every morning, every day. Yeah. Thank you.
It does.
Thank you,
Thank
Raylene.
you so much. So nice. What about you, Kurt? And then I'll go myself.
Well, you go, ladies first, you know.
Okay, so I think the way for peace right now is to have open dialogues that are intercultural, international, interreligious, you know, all sorts of people, all people there, and we're talking about one thing or peace in a certain perspective or a certain aspect. And we're just going, and if there's something that comes up, like I disagree, and then we can talk it out. And I'm sure that we can, if it's just if we want to, and we come with a certain intention in our mind that is positive. I mean, that is, if very perfect, then it's positive. So yeah. What about you, Kurt?
I totally agree with you in regards to that open conversation. And conversation is like we come into community, and community means coming together. We are together, and with that intention, again, the intention is the key focus. People would not come to a meeting like that if they didn't have an intention to change the world for a better. And it's just having these dialogues and then spreading them around. It's like this peace meditation that I offered everybody in a link. That might be that simple ritual you mentioned, Inger. And that simple ritual will spread and allow that vibration again within ourselves to go elsewhere and so on. And know that others are doing it along with you. And that usually draws the crowd. It's like you've seen those films on YouTube kind of thing where one guy starts dancing in this field and then another guy gets up and another woman and this and that, the other thing. And suddenly everybody's just dancing the way they want. And it doesn't matter how you dance. What matters is that you get to dance. And I hate sitting here in a meeting like this. And this is the first time I haven't moved like this. And I learned this from Ulf Sandström. And I don't know if anybody knows Ulf, but he's a great, great soul. And he also lives in Sweden. I used to teach at the university there and lived there for a year. And I love Sweden. I'm also a quarter Swedish. But he has this movement because we sit so long in a day. What does this do for our body? Well, this actually helps ourselves to be able to make it so subtle things in our spinal system starts to be able to be stimulated. So the nerves are stimulated, the micro connectors, everything is getting stimulated in your body. And if you tone it with your breathing, and you're breathing in and breathing out, and breathing in and breathing out, you're oxygenating your system, and the one system in your body that uses more of your oxygen is your brain. And so we're fueling that thing that we need to use during the time that we're sitting here. Now, I would normally get up, and we're running out of time, and go,
Oh, yeah.
breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Get this cross crawl movement, and it opens all your learning centers. And I can go on and on because this is part of sports,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. I want to end. I have to end it because Bertola and all these other people are on to do the next session, and Sadaf and so on. Thank you very much for being here. We've been so blessed with your presence, and keep on keeping on. If I can serve you in any way, just connect with me.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Kurt.
I'd like to thank to everyone.
Thank you so much all the panelists for being here, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah for giving me the time. I'd love to thank my mom. I mean, it was so hard calling her Shaba here because I'd usually just call her mom. So it was amazing. June, Shannon,
Nice.
Inger, Kurt, my co-host, lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thanks to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Raheen. Super.
Thank you.
It's a wonderful show, I had. And Kurt, I'm going to see you again in few hours, the 8 o'clock Pakistan time.
in a few hours, it seems, right? It was 9 o'clock that time.
No, 8 o'clock Pakistan time.
And do you mind if I stay on with these guys and listen?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Of course, we love to. So, thank you, Kurt. Thank you, Raheen. We start the next session. And, the Inger, you going
Jinnah
to...
Saab, can you hear me?
To run the show. Yes, Assalamualaikum, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Bertola. Hi, Inger. Hi, all the panelists. We are here at Live. We had the opening of the summit. We all missed our global think tank team, especially Bertola, Inger, and Michael Cillian. I hope you are having a great webinar. And we had training sessions after the opening ceremony. It was a great event. It's raining here and it's quite chilly. There's no snow, but it's quite nice. So it was a great event and we all really missed you. And I would like, Iram Fawad is here with me from Karachi. She's also here. Farzana Khan from UK, all the way to be part of this delegation. And many people are here. And tomorrow is another session of emerging technologies. It will start from morning. So stay tuned for further updates. Inger, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we announced your awards, especially Inger and Bertola and Michael. The awards will be sent to you for your continuous support as volunteers from Norway and Sweden, and support to the SDGs Academy.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would like Fawad to share her experience because we traveled as Marco Polo Scots from Karachi. Then we went to Gwadar by air and drove back on the Muscle Highway. I was tagging you all. It was a huge successful event. A warm welcome by the local community in Balochistan. We highlighted the sustainable development goals, education, emerging technologies, and tourism. And similarly, we are doing it here. There are training sessions parallel going on. So overall, the summit is, I think, a huge success. If people are getting serious and they want to work with us after this summit on different projects. And the role of the global community will be also very important in terms of achieving these targets on a very fast track. So I'll just hand over to Iram Fawad and she should share her experience so far about the whole summit. Yes, Iram, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum and hello to everyone. How are you? Everyone, we are here at Malam Jabba and how to just give me that. All right. There you go. So hello to everyone from PC Malam Jabba. It's a really amazing experience we had, a roller coaster road for all Polo squad of the Silk Road. So Karachi, Gwadar, back to Karachi, Islamabad, and then to Malam Jaba. But it is so amazing because the idea of Bertola and the think tank globally did job, and the dream came true, which is so amazing. So today, when we saw the full house in the conference over here, we thought of Bertola, Michael, Inger, and we missed them all because what we really are thinking that the dream of you and the reality to dreams journey has been accomplished. It's been we had fun yesterday, the fireworks, bonfire, and everything, and we missed everyone, especially Jinnah Saab. You be here, and Inger, Bertola. We really missed you all team around the global and nationally. So anyway, it was a very good experience, and yes, we did it. I'm so happy, though it was a very tiring trip, but we did it. Today, at the opening of the ceremony in Malam Jaba, my topic was circular economy and sustainable fashion, and we did talk about how we can collaborate with international and national portals to make our economy more strong. So Sadaf Khalid and many more of the the bigger name in the community came over. I was very happy. Then later on, me and Aruj did a women empowerment training, which is very good. Then in Balochistan, it was a fabulous event. Gawad at this business center, which is we all wanted you to be there, witness it yourself, because next time, inshallah, I want everyone, even Inger and Michael and everyone out there who are the global think tanks of this SilkRoad idea. We want you to hear, and we missed you a lot. So now we have Farzana Khan with us, and we can let her talk and let her tell you that her experience was the first experience to Guvada and what she is thinking about it.
Hi, good evening. I have to say I'm a little bit tired, obviously, traveling from London. Did an initial trip, a trip to Azad Kashmir. So I have officially in this trip have succeeded in 5 provinces. So I've touched all 5 provinces. I mean, it's been extraordinary because I came to see what the gaps were and to see what I can do with my networks and contacts in the industry to bring them here. And I've picked up quite a lot of other things that need to be done, including the litter and the guttering, the sewer thing, which I'm actually working with agencies in the UK now to come and look at Pakistan, see if we can help. I mean, Gawadar was extraordinary, really beautiful. The reception and hospitality from Islamabad, Karachi, Malam Jaba, Gwadar were all extraordinary. You know, I've always said that Pakistan is 85% there because that percentage is the hospitality. The people by far is the best in the world. And the other thing is that God's given natural. These things are given. It's the 15% that you've got to fill in with the highest level of excellence. So no, just to go back, the journey was amazing. The hospitality was amazing. The people hosted us were by far extraordinary. And we've loved every minute. I mean, Malam Jaba is just thrown me away. And the interesting thing, both destinations, Gwadar and Malam Jaba, we have been hosted by ancestral royalty, blue blood. And the proud and the history they're telling us is just, you got the history lesson in addition to meeting the new people of China, the work they're doing. So we really did secure in as many meetings as we possibly can. And it really was back to back, utilized every time. And for me, somebody who's traveled during COVID for 2 weeks, leaving my children at home, I had to maximize every time that I have. And I feel that I have done that. I'm very, very happy. I am standing my conviction more so that, yes, Pakistan is an emerging and by 2028 we will become the #1 tourist destination of the world. So I'm looking forward to it. Now I'm ready to move here next year and roll my sleeves up and get on with it. And I have to get, realize that vision. Hopefully by 2027, in the last quarter, invite the world press and the agencies to come and test out the country. And then in the year of 2028, for 365 days, from every corner of Pakistan, to showcase every day what's going on to the world, and then get this title, and then you're shoulder to shoulder. And ultimately, the tourism revenue has to help the local people, and we will see that. We will see that it will impact their lives locally, and that's what my blueprint is about. Somewhere to work, live, and play. So that's my experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We have a good session. Yes, over to you, Inger.
Yes, thank you, and thank you, Sadaf, and thank you to all of you, and thank you for inviting me to be part of this Silk Road Summit and hybrid conference.
Batola, your thoughts. You've been following us on social media. What's your feeling about this whole Silk Road Summit?
Absolutely, we're going to challenge Batola immediately because he's a busy man. So in this session we're going to talk about Sialkot and the circular economy. Yes.
Batola is behind all this mess we are creating in Pakistan.
I know, Ahmad Jafri, I know. That's why I forced him to come here this evening. So, but with the idea of the circular economy and the Silk Road, we're going to make the symbol of the football reach every sporting club in the world. And that's thanks to Batola. So how, Batola, are we going to meet this challenge to make it global impact with the circular economy and the Silk Road and the summit? So thanks to you, Batola. I'm here.
No, it's thanks to all people who are part. So I think what I've learned from doing a lot of I see myself as a catalyzer. I start things, and I think one of the most important things is to find the narrative, and like you remember there, Amar, at your home when we're sitting and like thinking around this, and like what is it that you can build on that you have already, and that can sort of both take all the traditions and history you have, because that's what's connect people in the local traditions, what they have and what they are proud of, and when they look back. But also it's like where do we go into the future? So it needs to be some kind of combination from tradition into the future to build on, and then people feel at home because it resonates to what they know. And it's beyond short term. It's hundreds of years, maybe like that. So if there are some problems or challenges, it's like, okay, how is it in 200-300 years from now? So we can look beyond all this small friction we have in politics and whatsoever. So I think the SDG Silk Road has been a brilliant thing because it opens up the field of sustainability, circular economy, regenerative economy, like we all know must be part of the future society, future how we organize, how we build business, NGOs, how we develop ourselves as individuals. So that part is part of the new narrative. And of course, the old Marco Polo story where trade and cultures and things brought people together. But now in these days with the digital development, it's like we can connect all over the world in different places. So we can expand this journey, not only from China to Europe, but all over the planet. So I think it's a fantastic narrative that opens up for huge potential. And you have I can just see from a side, I don't want to interfere in processes that are running. And the best thing is to let the locals do their thing, who know the local stuff. And you can be there and nudge a little bit if I don't see that you're not organizing everything, where you can see you can help out a little bit, but it's just amazing to see. So
thanks.
Everything from there. So and also I think it's a bit cool also that Inger-Mette is in Norway, Michael and me is in Sweden. So the Viking is finding the new road 1,000 years later also. It's not longer Marco Polo. Now it's
Yes.
the peace Vikings from the Nordics who are helping out.
Yes, absolutely, Bertola. For this 1 hour session, I'm also bringing Summer and David from London, from the UK.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm doing that is actually the narrative. It's the narrative of one world and one football. And you're talking about Marco Polo, but I'm bringing it, the history, a couple of 100 years longer back. I'm back to the Greek history and the history of Sialkot, but also the city of Sialkot with its actually reality today of 80% of all footballs are produced in the city and exported from the city of Sialkot. So the city of Sialkot was in fact a Greek city at its time, historical time. So it has this spirit of the Olympic Games. So that's this narrative we're bringing forward, the spirit of sports, football beyond football, sports beyond football, and to activate our winning spirit for a circular economy coming out of the city of Sialkot and out of this initiative of the SilkRoad initiative. So Bertola, you've been also, so we're talking about the club, but not clubhouse as you are involved in, but we're talking about football clubs. How do you think we should be able to reach every sporting club in the world with this narrative?
Yeah.
What would you do?
I think we're in a good way. If you look at the development since we met in I think Amar's kitchen 2 years back roughly, or 1.5 years till where you are now. And if you put that a bit forward a few months, it shouldn't be that hard because it's already rolling. So I think collect information, find some strategic people in some of the clubs and like that. I think it will go by itself, and of course involve the younger generation. So we find, I think we will do that.
We've been challenged to present this the football as a case to the World Economic Forum, and not in Davos, but in the next for Singapore, as a pilot for circular impact, a circular economy and impact for the globe. And we talk about
and there are multiple forums. Like you probably have noticed, I've been in another club now the last 3 months. Suddenly Clubhouse emerged out of the blue. So I think we could do something there. There's a lot of very interesting people. So it's just to catalyze the message and spread it. And someone will, go for it, and then it will spread like wildfire. So everything is there, but it will not burn out. This is the good thing, because it's sort of eternal flame. It's like the Olympics.
I saw that Kurt has a question for you, Bertola. I think you're burning to express something, Kurt, as a champion in sports yourself. Please unmute yourself.
I was only a senior Olympic champion, but that's another story. I got all kinds of stories, like everybody. Getting the change to happen in sports, I believe, started in a way with this idea that we had in sports psychology of a total sports psychology, body, mind, and spirit and emotions. And adding character, like I put in the chat in our last session about the Positive Coaching Alliance, and it deals with character development and so on, rather than just simple sports. It really enhances it a lot. Jim Thompson out of Stanford University started it, and I've known him for about 20 or 30 years. I've worked with him. And doing sports psychology with meditation and everything, that helps to generate that consciousness that most people don't bring into their life, is that peaceful state of mind. And thank you. I'd like to find out how it is that we have. You've brought up that the conversations that you've had on the webpage, on that app. That's generating a lot of interesting dialogue, and this is the one thing that's been missing too, is getting dialogue with those others and so on. But thank you for all the work you're doing.
It's
Thanks.
one catalyzer, of course, not everything, but I think, sometimes you need this catalyzer you need the different elements. You need the narrative, you need the people on the ground, you need the fire, you need the building blocks, and then things happen. So it's, so I think all the elements are there.
But like putting on those footballs, if just having a nice positive phrase on each of the footballs, subconsciously it'll get people to have it in their mind. And it could be a simple thing like that. It changes things. Like I published a national article.
So we are preparing these footballs made in Sialkot. With this, here's one child, one football. And we're putting up this, it's a circular economy. So we're really working on producing more ethical, better quality, and a football with a storyline. And what we say, let's keep the world spinning, make nature winning.
Yes, excellent.
Yes. So with that, I'd like to throw the ball to David Boville in London, who's been working on football in the UK, and I've been working with him for the last year. On Earth Day last year we met, and we did we started to work together, and we had overlap on the idea of the football. Please take the floor.
Thanks, Inger.
And do a presentation for the SDGs people in Pakistan and the SilkRoad. Do you believe that we can create a narrative, David, with the football in Sialkot?
There's no more powerful narrative in terms of a global conversation than football. It is the global sport, and it is an amazingly powerful visual symbol to do with the planet as well. So the thing that I'm sort of that's come up for me in this conversation is kind of it's almost visual. It's like a landscape. So the thing that I'm particularly working on is to create a new commons for circular economy. And this is working to do with education on that, with media on that, and using like the most advanced technology we can in terms of blockchain, educational certificates, and so forth. But this kind of new form of commons that we don't have yet globally to do with that information seems to really like poetically combine with the kind of the rivers and the roots of the Silk Road and the kind of central symbol, if you like, of one world, one football. So when you put these three things together, this kind of commons where you can explore, you can there's something for everyone to learn, to take part in. So we're looking at basically crowdsourcing the collective intelligence around circular economy. Anyone can take part in the research, in learning about new materials, learning about how to use, distribute, and involve your local community. Anyone can approach a local football club and get them involved. So how can we mobilize the local communities and the kind of collective intelligence? That's all kind of to do with the commons, really. We need a kind of knowledge commons, a learning commons, which we take part on. And that concept is a bit kind of nebulous. It's kind of everywhere. It's like this flat landscape. We need to combine that with one clear symbol that we come to. So taking only one object of manufacture and one city in Pakistan, Sialkot, to manufacture a simple object, a football, and then really look at how can we do that in terms of a circular economy? How can we look at the supply chain, the distribution, the involvement of clubs, the materials that go into that? What is the kind of the best we can do like with the best sport in the world, if you like. That central symbol to bring people together and set an example for all of like sport, clothing, manufacture, and as a symbol for a far wider industry. I mean, that central symbol. And then the Silk Road is really about the new kind of economic routes that are being crafted across this landscape, because you can't do anything just on goodwill alone. You need finance. You need to be able to tap that finance, but direct it in good directions towards the environment, towards the circular economy. And when you combine these three things, the Silk Road, a new commons, and a central compelling vision that can bring people together, I think we can really start to coordinate action and involve people. And that's the core thing I want to say, is that it's only by working together and coming together. I mean, we can, there is room for everyone to help craft these courses. There's now online the ability in these platforms to actually learn aspects from how you craft a mobile app to how you work with blockchain, new blockchain languages. We could actually work on the ability to create a smart contract language in Urdu or some other language. And that's like the high-tech stuff, but you need to combine that with a knowledge and an understanding of language. So you can bring school children and teachers together with the most advanced crypto community in terms of compilation technology, and bring those together to create a new language for contracts, legal contracts in Pakistan. Or you can just get involved by doing peer-to-peer education in your local community, learning about where actually is waste in your local community, and you can get involved online and what have you. And that platform, building that this year is like, it's never been possible before to combine these things, to be involved in anywhere in the world, to build a new global platform that is also to do with the new forms of global finance and global manufacture, with global supply chains. You know, football's being manufactured here, in, you know, the kind of ingredients of the cookery coming from all around the world, and then these footballs being distributed all around the world, but not in the old way we used to do it, in the new way that we can do it. So imagining that together. And yeah, that's all I'm going to present for now. And I would just say that anyone who is interested in coming together and looking at circular economy, learning either technology, design, or how to involve their local community, to approach local football clubs, please get in touch with SDG Academy of Pakistan or Inger-Mette, and there's a place for you. We need your support.
Thank you, David. Let's see if there's any comments from Pakistan. Maybe do we have Amar? Yes.
And can I say something?
Yes, please do so.
This is Amar Jafri. So, you know, this is such an amazing experience. You know, when we were originally thinking about the name of the conference, and I said one night when Betrolami and Michael were discussing the title of the conference, this Silk Road is everybody knows about it. So 21st century Silk Road, but all these things evolve around a concept. Naturally, circular economy is one of it. So my humble submission to all of you that we are all people who understand the global perspective, who understand we are like just Petrola said, but with the world after 300 years. So I think I would strongly recommend a high-level think tank. We could meet once in a week, and circular economy naturally is something which is offering a number of things. For example, if I see right now we are in Swad Malam Jabba, so only this morning we had a session on Waste Plus, which you know, all these things, whether you call it a football plus, waste plus, I think since we are talking, we are trying to involve millions of people globally, so our word should be very simple. So once you say the waste plus, it means that waste is already there. We are trying to make it a plus, because if I had to tell this thing to 100 people, I could convince them by putting them in a hall and all these things. But we all are trying to address millions of people. So the name should be very simple, like we have University Plus, in which we are trying to engage university students into learning something which is adding value to what they have learned in the shape of practical. So I think circular economy is something which Inger is very passionately trying to drive in Sialkot, and with her program like Football Plus. So I think all of us should do. Maybe we can talk about SDG Plus. Maybe these are all wide ideas. So Michael and Petula, I think Inger, you and so many people trying to listen and
Yes.
put some forward. We are all solution providers. So this is my two cents in the discussion.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Shukriya, Amar Jafri. And it's thanks to you, really, the idea of the Football Plus and the 360-degree thinking as a symbol for circular economy, and the Sialkot as a football city of the world, and to work with universities in the city of Sialkot, but also together in partnership with us in Norway and in Sweden and around the world. So this is really to in this narrative of the football as a sphere, as a symbol for the globe, in oneness, can we create this what you see here now as a presentation is actually the goal jam, and it's initiated by myself, David Boville, and also Summer here, and an extended group of young people around the world working on Wikipedia, but also on federated wiki. How can we work on the narrative, one world, one football, all clubs in the world? We're saying that Earth Day 2021, we will launch it. We will continue to COP26 in Glasgow. Hopefully we will be together there and present what we're doing. But also we're looking at the partnership with Stockholm 2022, 50-year celebration of United Nations Environmental Program. So this is actually why I'm so happy that Bartula is here to say that, yes, one world, one football. This is the badge. This is the art of football. We want to reach in the Brazil, the passe la ball. You know, really, how can we get this narrative to enhance the success of the city of Sialkot? So you understand my point?
And there was no sound, I think. Is there any sound into it?
No sound.
Of course it is, but it's because I'm having my headphones on. Please excuse me for that. But I will share this is it's a beautiful small introduction to the city of Sialkot, explaining that it's 70% of all sporting gear coming out of that city. So say, let us make this circular economy coming out of the story, coming out of Sialkot with the symbol of one ball. And this is a blue ball looking after this, as you said, quote, the ocean ball, the water, the SDG on water. How can we make this as a game? Even for, you know, this is the narrative. So who will catch the ball? I would like to bring something before you go, Bartula, and that's my friend Summer from London. We'll be working on Institute for Learning Organization in Norway with Summer, and we're working on learning culture, and we're working on the Japanese learning culture in the Obeya structure and Lean. So we're looking at how we can have visual leadership in the community based on the learning organization. I'm not sure if I'm playing Summer up or you, Bartola, but I know that you are heading towards a meeting at 8 o'clock, Bartola, on the learning culture. Please say a few words before you run off for the next
Yes,
talk.
yes, of course. We work on the learning society, we call it. So there is a need to expand the concept of learning organization to a higher level, which we mean is learning society. What has been clear the last years, I think, to most people, is that with the enabling technology we have, we can both, there's closer way for individual people to be change makers, organizations be change makers, but also the institutions of society. Everything from vaccine cooperation to collaborative understanding at institutional level, and that's beyond organizations, because that's about partnerships. And so it's important not to get stuck on organization level. It's also that we can expand this concept one step further. So we see the whole society should be permeated of learning, continuous learning, and that's how we can build resources and how we can, like on a continuous basis, solve problems and create new opportunities. And Clubhouse, we have a session in 15 minutes every Sunday, 8 p.m. Central European Time, listen, link, learn. So we capitalize there a bit of the learnings, and I think tomorrow and the day after we can make some activities around the SDGs SilkRoad on Clubhouse. It's a bit other audience. I mean, it's still an early platform, but amazing people coming in. It's a lot of early adopters around the world. So I think it will be great tomorrow and the day after to have a small conversation there on Clubhouse on the SDGs SilkRoad and start to catalyze a process in that platform as well. So it's a great opportunity, and I'm looking forward there to follow up tomorrow with you in Pakistan and see if we could make some activity both now, since you're in the middle of the ongoing event, but also in the coming weeks.
Absolutely, Batola.
Thank you, Batola. Batola, you are very popular in Pakistan, so a lot of people listening to you. So
yes.
What I'm trying to say is that you are partnering with us, this SilkRoad conference, and it's a wonderful idea of engaging the young kids, because whatever Inger is saying the same thing. I think we all are talking the same frequency. So I think Jinnah Sahab can figure it out. Maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, it is a continuity. So I think you can take the lead of people here in Pakistan, in Karachi, in Gwadar, right now we're in Malam. I wish you would have been here. So I think, Mike, little question to you. Learning is a mindset, and this mindset comes in the mind of human being when he or she is satisfied with the basic need, which is food, shelter, something like this. So learning is a mindset, let me tell you. So when you talk about learning society, definitely transforms into a group of people. So if that group is not homogeneously similar, so I think then it becomes a difficult target. How would you like to comment on it?
Absolutely. It needs to be a representation of humanity. I mean, all people that coming from all sort of cultures and backgrounds, that's the best. That's my take on it, because the more diversity you have, the more experiences and input you get, more understanding. So I think that is super important. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that. So let's follow up on that, Amar, even tomorrow or the day after. If we could have a small call, just inbox me. I need to start an event now in a few minutes here. So let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely, Batola. We will join you on Clubhouse. But let's say, Summer, let's get your reflection on the learning society also, and the narrative of the Silk Road and circular economy, this 360 hubs thinking.
Yeah, thanks, Inger-Mette, for the introduction. And this is probably my third sort of call I join. Some of you, I think, we've met before, but some haven't. My name is Samer Hamadi. I'm in UK. And I'm really find it interesting how different people from different parts of the world coming together to sort of look into this space of circular economy, sustainability, the SDGs, the making the world a better place, extending our hands to work with each other, and so on. And that's quite powerful. And I could see the desire, and I listened to the report, or to the what do you call it, the call from, I think, Sadaf and the team about what they're doing, and you could feel that energy, and that's really very encouraging. Now, regarding the sort of the, let's call it the football and Sialkot and circular economy, actually there are a couple of points I'd like to sort of touch, so share my thoughts on. The first one is, it's just the hardcore economic thing, and the other one is sort of, you know, the sort of good for everybody around the world. So the first one is, you know, if I look back a little bit, probably 30 years ago, I mean, where was Pakistan or Sialkot on the map of production of sportswear? Probably it wasn't really significant, but somehow, in some way, it became to produce 80%, as we heard from Inger-Mette, 80% of the sportswear. Now, how did that change happen? You know, what were the reasons? What was the recipe? What were the factors? So looking 20 years into the future, how can you guarantee that Sialkot would still be the leading manufacturer of a different type of football? You know, a greener football, a better football for the environment, a better football for the, you know, sort of ethical practices, and so on and so forth. So the point here is really is about how can, let's say, this industry in Sialkot really change itself so that it continues to be meaningful for the future generation. Those who are looking for a football, that's not the football of today. You know, the football of today probably will be on the shelf, but 20 years from now, there will be some new football that means something else to them. Whether it's a football with a story, football that's more ethical, football that is more environmentally friendly, greener, recyclable, and so on. So that requires really change, isn't it? It's not just an individual, it's a whole industry, ecosystem, society that has to look into things differently. And probably if I can get this up, which is a brilliant quote from Russell Aikoff, who says, our future depends on our capacity to learn. And so, you know, what would stop, for example, I don't know, Brazil or Mexico or some other country around the world, if tomorrow, you know, the labor cost was lower than Sialkot, actually take over the industry, and then people who are now living on the back of that business in Sialkot will actually be out of business. So therefore, really changing is a must. It's an economic must. It's a livelihood. Changing in the right direction, of course, meaning in a more sustainable way, responsible way, ethical way, is where you'd actually beat the competition, so to speak, because future generations would be looking for a football that is more ethical, that is cleaner,
Absolutely.
that is really, it's part of the circular economy. And so that ability to change and learning how to change and what to change and how fast and what's happening is really crucial. So we at the Institute for Learning Organizations, we help companies develop a strong and deep learning culture. And so, you know, that's basically what we do. And with a lot of experience with Toyota in the past, as well as understanding and practicing and always learning about and from Toyota philosophy, whereby, you know, people are paid at Toyota to think first and then work and then do. So thinking comes really before doing, because we've got to do the right thing, not just do things right through good skills, but we have to do the right thing through better thinking, better learning. So
Yes.
it's really, in my opinion, it's at the core of it. And that is a challenge for us at the individual level in our daily lives, as well as societal level, is how do we continuously learn how to learn in order to shape the future in a way that is meaningful to us today and meaningful to future generations tomorrow. And that is a challenge. And but it's really, we have no choice, but we have to take it on. So I really wish you all the luck in what we're doing, and we're all always available. If in our space we can contribute to the communities, to the groups of people in Sialkot that are working on this together, then through Inger-Mette, we are really available to see how we can help and contribute.
Yes, thank you so much. I like to say that we have now 8 minutes till 8 o'clock. So, but with your spirit, Summer, and you see behind me, we have like a gift from Nike. It's not only from Nike, but it's from the local team. So we're closing the loop of the circular economy, and we've been having 200 sets of Nike balls, white balls. So we want to develop this educational project on the SDGs and on the symbol of the football and the sphere. So this is the local activation of a local club approach. The narrative of the Sialkot, we like to bring that along the Silkway as a benchmark and as a good example to learn from. So it's not only like one football or one product, all products, all services, all experience along the Silk Road should be on the principle of circular economy. I like David. I've seen you've been working on the Fed Wiki and the Wikipedia story, because this is also how we're working on Sustainable Development Goal number 8. This is tech. We're innovation in technology to produce better football, more green, more sustainable, but also to have high tech to look after the value chain, complete supply chain of the football and any product produced along the Silk Road.
Yeah, so I've just been gathering all the articles that we have written over time on football as we're speaking just to this Future Football platform. So the Future Football platform is due to be launched at COP26, so that's in November. So we're still building it and inviting people to help build it, it is built upon like an environmental database on the blockchain, a kind of innovation, open innovation, science platform on the blockchain. And we're starting to work on that in May. And then we're looking to build in a kind of open learning model so people can take part there. And this federated wiki project, so it's all in the commons, it's all public data in Wikipedia, in the commons, to be shared, to be able to be remixed and used in an educational context, but it also has the ability for companies and for universities to create courses around that, and for investors to invest in product development. And that way you can kind of crowdsource innovation and you can still invest in it. And that's kind of the new kind of Silk Road like future markets that the world is currently building. It's like new ways from people from different countries and different platforms, different countries and different areas of expertise, whether you're a young person with an idea for a new design for, let's say, a football. It might be just branding, or whether you're at a university and you're a chemist and you have an idea for a new form of compound that would not have as toxic an environmental impact. How can you combine people in new flexible ways to address the pressing problems of the environment? And right now, people from all around the world are creating that new economy, new ways of investing, new ways of universities being structured, new ways of people, regardless if they're a famous institution or a big city, for anyone with access through a mobile phone to the internet to take part in that new economy. And it's really exciting and it's there's a lot of risk, there's a lot of danger there's a lot of things we need to avoid, but at the same time there's a lot of capabilities for us to completely rediscover how we innovate and how we address the problems. And I was just gathering some information together myself around this area of football, branding, marketing, art, in order to think about how can that information be put on this platform to structure courses so that we can do this open innovation around the future manufacture of footballs.
Thank you, David. Anyone having something to express or feel or sharing? From my side, from Norway, sending my greetings to the SDG Academy of Pakistan. I'd say that if you want to be in touch with the initiative One World, One Football, get in touch with me directly, get in touch with SDG Academy in Pakistan. You find us, you Google 360 Hub Sialkot, you will find us. We are in the process of getting clubs together, getting sports and football clubs together around the world. And we are really preparing ourselves for the Earth Day coming up next month in April, and all the way to COP26, and hopefully, inshallah, towards in partnership with you towards Stockholm plus 50 and summer 2022. So, Gina, do you have any things to share with us?
I just like to, I'd like to thank you, David, Summer, and Batul. He left, right? But it's very good to have you in our show. But I take this privilege to ask David. That initially, when we first discussed about this like a world radio kind of thing. So, so luckily, I'm working for one of the digital radio in Pakistan. So, and it has been launched and is going very, very fine, So, and we did one show with the team of Run Bhumi last week. So, just please do consider whenever, you think, you can go and come live with us. So we can go and display to, all over Pakistan.
We are ready
let's meet next week. Let's meet next week. The radio station we really want to launch together with the football project is worldcup.fm. So let's work together to launch that with as many participants from around the world as we can.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Inger. Thank you, Saman.
Thank you. Thank you to all of them.
Thank you. It's Nafis there. We have a promo, and then in few minutes we start the next session.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Gina.
Thank you, Nafis. Okay, then thank you. See you soon.
See you soon. How does this work? Video filter.
Please, can we have a promo, please?